Welcome to Epic Genealogy, another episode of Are They Related? This is how we get a lot more out of family history. Now, this is similar to some of the other videos I've done. I'm doing family history and something, I just happened to stumble upon it. I think there's something there. There might be a really good story. It may also be related. And I'm going back to St. Louis. So, what happened last time in St. Louis, you know, we had the whole thing with Tony LaDuca and that awful, getting arrested for kidnapping a child and then trying to continue. And then after he gets arrested, continuing to try to marry a child. $6,000 worth of real estate in 1917. Wow. So hopefully nothing's going to happen now. I have no idea where this is going to go. So I guess if you're watching the video, something pretty good happened. So we will see. Again, I have no idea where this is going to go. Where this started, I was looking for a Constantine Ruggieri, his family is from Carini and they immigrated to St. Louis, which is really cool. Sometimes in Ancestry, as you can see here, you get yearbooks. So this is a 1939 yearbook for Blewett High School in St. Louis, Missouri. This is what initially got my attention. Now Constantine is in here, but he doesn't have one of these senior pictures. He's in a group, and it's not numbered. You can't find out who the group. I have no idea who it is. But when I was going through, I saw this. This got my attention, as those familiar with the channel will know. John B. LaFata. Now it's Giovanni Battista or John the Baptist LaFata, which is a fairly common Sicilian and Spanish name. Knowing he is approximately his age, I'm figuring LaFata, that's a pretty common Carini name. Let's take a look to see if he is in fact related. I did a search and I got this 1940 census, figuring that the yearbook here is 1939. He was born around 1922, 1923, well, 21 to 23, we'll say. I was able to find him on the 1940 census because, as you would expect, not too many John LaFatas in St. Louis at the time. So what I was able to do, I'll blow this up for you there. We have a Sam LaFata, and then there's a John LaFata right here. He is 18 years old in 1940. So, hey, so far things is lining up over here, right? This is looking pretty good. So his father's name is Sam. And I'll bring this over here. He is from Italy. The wife is from Missouri. And if we notice right here, we'll just right off the bat, we have the ages of the parents, 43 and 39. And the oldest daughter is that we know living with them is 20. So she was an adult. We don't have a child marriage here, although things still, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't have any child marriages here. So we've got this John. It would have been nice if they had the B, but I'm pretty certain we got the right guy over here. We can see that the father is selling fruit, which is a very common Sicilian tradition. They're longshoremen, especially if they're in Brooklyn, or they were barbers, or they were selling fruit. We've seen a number of where they were selling fruit. If we go back to the video, and I know you probably haven't seen it, Angelo Badalamenti, who did the scores for a ton of movies, Twin Peaks, co-wrote Black Lodge with Anthrax, so check that out. But his father and his grandfather, his Nono, were also fruit peddlers, so in a private business, so he probably owned his own business there. It looks like this John is a clerk. He is already working, he's a clerk. See, one thing I always thought was sad, and I'm going to do a series of videos on these. This is 1939. Everybody look, especially this guy here. This guy, and I always know that, or figure, there might be a real tragedy there, especially for kids this age, because you know that a lot of them had really bad stories because they went to the war. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos about that, looking at these older yearbooks, especially 1939, 1941, 1944, and see what happened to them. Because unfortunately, a lot of these guys, which we should always remember, did not come back from the war. All right, so to get back, this gives us some pretty good information. So this is where I was. Now, I always say, you find your family just skim the rest of the document at least, you know, until you get back to it. And this is the whole reason why I'm doing this particular video. It's not just because I found Lafada. I found this. I got to blow it up. Huh? Gaspar Randazzo. And he was born in Missouri, but I am going to bet the farm, because I'm doing a whole video about it. I'm going to bet the farm that our Gaspar Randazzo is from Cardini. I'm going to say that the two of them are. And I did go through the rest of this document. It does not look like it's a traditional Sicilian or Italian restaurant. That's where my mind is right now. It doesn't look like it's going to be a predominantly Sicilian neighborhood there in St. Louis. It is 1940 after all. Because you see here, we've got the top guy is from Russia. Then we have the Irish Free State, Austria, Holland, Colorado, New York, Kentucky. So this is a very wide ethnic group neighborhood. So I did take the liberty before doing a video. This is the actual address, at least for Lafada. I know this is taken in a number of different streets. But 615 Belt is right here. So so it doesn't even exist anymore. It's just a parking lot. That's unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen the houses that they lived in. Maybe we could do that for Gaspar. So we'll see what happens. Bear with me here. This is I think it's instructional anyway. We got to see if Sam Lafada is from Cardini, Sicilia, and if there's a chance to relate, because I do have a lot of Lafada cugini. Knowing that, so just using this information, how do we then find where in the world Sam is from? We do know he's 43 years old in 1940. And Sam is not a Sicilian name. So what it is, it's more of a nickname for Salvador. So some immigrants wanted to sound less ethnic, and given how Sicilians were treated 100 some odd years ago, remember the largest mass lynching in United States history, that honor belongs to Sicilians. No, well, not that they did it, but they were the victims of that. So it's understandable why some immigrants want to sound less ethnic. I mean, my own Nona, she didn't really do much. Her name was Katerina, and all she really did was go by Catherine and did it with a K. So she had to change it to a K. So now that we know that, we can actually do a search for Sam Lafada, and we know the wife's name is Marina. We know his age. And we know he was born in Italy. I'm going to bet he was not born in Italy. I'm going to bet that he was born in Sicily. He may not be from Palermo area, but he's from Sicily. So I'm going to go into my Ancestry. I am going to search all collections. He was 43 in 1940, so he was born approximately 1897. I'm going to put in Italy. I'm going to do it anyway here. It's just for the search. All right, let's see what we got coming up here. This is looking pretty good already. We have a World War II draft record. Unfortunately, it's not the right street. It's not only not the right street, but we have a Sarah Lafada at a different address. That may not be his wife. So we have 1021 North 7th Street. It's not the same address. Could be the same guy because the age lines up. Well, here's a Find a Grave that has some information on it. Let's just go to the Find a Grave. 13 August 1897. The other one was 13 August 1898. But we know immigrants got the ages wrong all the time. This one says Terracini. Again, we don't know for sure. His father is also from Terracini. It makes sense. A lot of immigrants from Terracini, a lot of people from Terracini did immigrate to St. Louis. So it is very possible that this Lafada is from Terracini. That would be Giovanni Battista Lafada. Need something with an address to back this up, that we got the right guy. So I will leave that there. Whoa. Again, I don't know if this is a World War I draft record. So it's years before, 23 years or so before the 1940 census. But if we see right here, I know, Carino, I think we'd say it's kind of a cute typo. You see what I did there?
What?
It's kind of a cute typo. But it gives his only his birth year, but I think it's pretty clear that that is Carini. Okay, so we don't know if this is our guy, but Carini, right? And it looks like his father's name is Frank, so that narrows it down. So we know that at least one Sam LaFada in St. Louis from Carini. So I can go into the Carini records here. We'll go into that. We'll go back to Salvador. Now we know that the father's name is Frank. And it gets right back to the one we looked at before. That was 7 March 1898. Again, we know that they have issues getting the birth dates right, but it's looking pretty good. The father's name is Frank, but the birth year is off. We can't say for sure yet. He was working for Monsanto. Oh, we thought we'd find some. It's not as bad as the child marriage, but my gosh, they work for Monsanto. Oh, this is interesting. See the story, some context. This man does not know when he was born, but he is 21. Oh, so I'm okay. So it's entirely feasible over here that 7 March 1998 is actually his birth year. His birth. It could be this guy. We don't. So they filled this in. They said he was 21 years old in 1918. Okay. It is very, very possible that this is him. This is part of the record. So it gives us some more context. This is probably our guy. I can't have this video be 4 hours long because sometimes it takes a lot of research. So I'm going to err on the side. It may not be our guy. I think it is, but it may be our guy. We got a Sam LaFada who is in St. Louis, obviously from Carini. His father's name is Frank. As we saw, we have a Francesco and an Angelo. Could be the parents. Could be. But here I don't have enough information to confirm. I would need another record with his address to confirm. So I have 3 addresses, but I don't have a document to confirm. So now I got to turn my attention to Gaspar Randazzo. I actually have an uncle Gaspar, but he was not a Randazzo. He's a Gagaiano. We had a Gaspar Randazzo in my Randazzo group, and in my Carini group. He has sadly passed away last year, but his son is an up-and-coming stand-up comic in New York. So definitely check out Gaspar Randazzo, because that's a family name. That Gaspar Randazzo name goes back 400 years. But anyway, definitely check out Gaspar Randazzo on Instagram. All right, so let's get into this. Let's see what we've got. If this Gaspar Randazzo is either from Terracini, it's more common that it's going to be in Carini. That's one of the top names. So, well, it's one of the biggest names in Sicily. We're going to have to do a search for Gaspar Randazzo, and I'm going to do just like I did with John B. Battista. We know he was 22 in 1940, so his birth year is going to be about 1918. Hey, right. 1918. The plague. He's born in St. Louis, Missouri. And his wife's name is Rosalie. So we'll plug in his wife's name. We'll do a search. We'll see what comes up. First one. We got his World War II record. This is what I was talking about before. You see this. It's 1941. You see he's 22 years old. He's going to probably be in the war. So we know we got the right guy. He's on Clara Avenue. Yeah, the wife's name lines up. Is it Clara? Yes, Clara. So we got the right guy here. He worked for a sign company. So yeah, and that lines up with what we know about him on the census. So everything lines up. We absolutely have the right guy. We got to find him on another census record and find his parents' names. Now, there's not going to be too many Gaspars because Gaspar is just not a very common name, which is really helpful when we're doing family history or we're just doing historical research so that, we know we got the right guy. And he was, we got the exact birth date. Would you look at this? You see, look at the whole document. I told you Gaspar was a very big family name, at least were the Gaspar Randazzos that I'm related to. I'll blow this up over here. You see, look what they did here. It's Gaspar Randazzo Jr. Nice. Nice. That does help. It's Gaspar Jr. So we know when we look for a census record, there's going to be the father's name is going to be Gaspar. Nice. I like that. We already have him on the 1940 census. We don't need that. But they have a marriage. See, it's not like New York. They got very good records here for Missouri. Gaspar Randazzo, and I can't really make out Rosalie's last name. Durbin. We get Gaspar's signature. Cool. All right, so we're going to keep going. They were born in 1939, which is good because I like to see that. She was 17. Okay, but 17 and 22, I would not characterize that as a vile child marriage. So we're doing good. We don't have a child marriage so far. Always good news. And we do see here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this information here. The death certificate, he unfortunately passed away in 2004, but we got his parents' names. You got his mother's maiden name, Anna Gambino. I know it's common in the Palermo area, but it's a big name in Mia Familia in Carini. Big. So we got a Randazzo married to a Gambino. Oh, of course we see where this is going. We have his finder grave here. Oh, we got pictures. Look at this. Oh, would you look at that? Boom! Yes, his father. That's not only a picture of his parents. Where are they from? Carini. Yes! Yeah! That is cool. Very cool. I had, and I figured it had to be. It had to be. Yes. And we lucked out. We have pictures of this good-looking couple from Carini. Look at that. Very, very nice. Oh, we got a bunch of pictures here. We got, oh, look at this. Who's ever doing this? I know what you're saying. You still have to confirm this. I know. But wow, how lucky is that we have pictures like this? Oh, Anna Gambino. Oh, and it's a picture of her younger. You see, look, what a great memorial that they have right here on Find and Grave. This is fantastic. And then it's got the kids. All right, so this is a gold mine of stuff that we found. I'm so glad that I chose to. I'm glad I thought I had the foresight to put this on video, because now you can see how there's so much that we can get out of family history. And I don't even know if they're related to me yet, but chances are a Randazzo and a Gambino. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that they're at least third cousins. So I won't edit that out if they're not. Now I know I still have to verify that they're really all from Carini, but it's gonna be really easy here. All right, so we don't have a Gaspar with that birth date over here. Doesn't mean it's not in there. Maybe it wasn't indexed. Maybe there isn't a baptism record. And there's only a civil record, but it's much faster for me to go into the Carini records. You go into the catalog on Family Search. So you go, the catalog, and you plug in here where you're looking. He's got an April 25th, 1890. We'll take a look. This is April 23rd, 1890. Now, they weren't always baptized on the same day, so we'll see how this plays out. Oh, there it is. There it is. We actually do have it. And let's see, it's the 26th. So he was baptized the next day, if in fact he's got the birthday correct. That's Gaspar Randazzo. His father is Gaspar, and his mother is Aloysia Canigliaro. So it was right before. These are his parents, and I don't have him on my tree yet. Of course, you see their children here. I don't have him on my tree yet because he wasn't indexed. So I will put that in myself.
A few moments later.
All right, so we got him in there now. Now I just have to add him to my Ancestry tree.
One eternity later.
All right, so now I've got Gaspar on my tree. Now I have him linked, and it shows that he is a sixth cousin. So distant related, but still, I started with just this 1940 United States Census, not knowing at all. So not only from Carini, but distantly related to Mia Familia. So that's great find. Really, really great find. So I did go and I added, and I'm cut it all out, but I did add Anna Gambino Gaspar's mother to my tree, and it's not a sixth cousin. As you see here, he is a fourth cousin. So someone who just happened to be on a census record based off of a high school yearbook that I was looking at, and I went to the census. One of his neighbors actually is a fourth cousin. So I was able to, and I know it's him. We're able to confirm that. We have the records of, so then we have Gaspar. Well, I don't know Jasper, but it's actually Gaspar. The street is this is his record. Now, he did survive the war. I don't know for sure if he, we'll have to go through and see if he actually fought. It looks like we have a 1950 census that will tell us. So if he's on the 1950 census, then he definitely, yes, he did survive. Oh, and look at this. There he is. And we have a Gambino. So the mother-in-law, so Anna Gambino is actually living. She's 93. So Anna Gambino did immigrate also. So very cool. So did survive the war. That's great. Not always see that. Let's take a look and see if we can see the house that his son Gaspar was living in. Gaspar was living at 1936 Clara. So let's see. Obviously, where LaFada was living, gone. 1959 Belt Avenue might actually still exist. So let's take a look. And we'll plug in 1959 and see if that's still there. 1959. And we'll see. You shouldn't go too far. It's right down the street. Oh, well, you look at this. Oh, my gosh, it's like make it look like a war zone. Oh, there we go. There it is. That's 1959. Yep. Oh, below that in 1959. So this is the house that Gaspar Randazzo was living in during the plague. Very, very cool. All right, look at that. Excellent. Last thing I want to do, I want to see if we can get his son's house, because his son was living at 1936 Clara. So let's see if we can see that house. Again, this should be right in the same neighborhood. That's it. Oh, that's 1938. Yeah. Oh no, that's the. Oh, I think that's it. No, that's not it. Huh. Looks like Gaspar's house is gone also, which is that's what happens to, that's what unfortunately, urban decay, and it is not there anymore. That was really cool. Found out that Giovanni LaFada, he may be from Carini. It's very possible. I think we got sufficient evidence to say it's very possible that his family is from Carini. And we were able to also show that this Gaspar Randazzo, who is living just, in the same neighborhood, his family was from Carini also. I really would. And what's really cool is we're actually able to get pictures of them. This is really, really cool. So I'm really glad that worked out. And there were no tragedies. There was no bad news. I guess maybe if I did a little bit more research, but just on the surface, we didn't find any vile, disturbing facts. All this has been very, very positive, and I'm glad that I was able to record this, and we can see actual pictures of them. This is great. We're able to go and take from this, looking for Giovanni Battista LaFada. From there, we found him on the 1950 census, or a little scrolling. I found Gaspar Randazzo, turns out not only from Carini, but is a fourth cousin. How cool is that? So I was able to find a lot of information. Those are his parents. Find the grave. Just a fantastic find. There's so much information. It's just great. But I was able to find his Carini birth record and Anna Gambino's birth record, or baptism record, in Carini. So they're both on the tree. They're both related to Mia Familia. I'm actually a fourth cousin to them. That is really cool. So that's how powerful it is, and why it's so important to look at the whole document. There's probably more in this particular collection that may be from Carini, but I'm not going to go through that in this particular video. I'm satisfied that absolutely Gaspar is from Carini, and Sam or Salvador Lafata, which is his father, based on the records that I found, I would be pretty confident saying that his family is from Carini also, and probably related. I wasn't able to find nearly as much information for Lafata as I was for Randazzo, but hey, Randazzo is a very common name. So, hey, that was really cool. A lot of information I was able to find, adding these people, adding them to the tree, having the photos now, which is really cool. Know what they did for a living, which is great to find. So look at the documents, look at all the documents, and just like with the World War I records or the World War II draft records, keep going through because it's a whole collection. So even if the Ancestry doesn't get the search right when you go to the search page, it might still be in that collection, especially what I've noticed, especially when it comes to the naturalization records. So definitely don't focus on just that document. You can get a lot more information if you just expand your search somewhat. Hey, that's going to do it for this particular video. Went through an awful lot of stuff and a lot of information. It was a lot of fun, really big surprises, and nothing vile. It was all good. So, hey, thanks for watching, and you know what comes next.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Oh, cerebral vascular accident. Oh, and diabetes. He was 73 years old.